welcome everyone. There we go, we've got audio. My name's John and this is Veteran Gaming Australia. Alright, today we've got something a bit different. So, we've been asked by the community to do a bit of an insight into sim racing and where people can get started. So, I'm not sure how many people are in here at the moment. Let me try and get information. Yeah, make sure I mute that so I don't hear myself. Alright, we've got 9 in here at the moment. Hey Alex. Is that wrong with audio? Alright, so let's get started. So, I've got a massive thunderstorm coming over as well, which is awesome. Okay, so sim racing is tricky. The first thing that people need to understand is what do they want out of it? Do they want to drive a real car and simulate real life racing? Or are they more likely to jump in and just, build a fun car and do some unrealistic things? So I want to talk about that first. So to clarify that, we're talking about simulated racing. We're going to call that sim racing. Then you've got what's called sim arcade, and then you've got arcade racing. So just to give you an idea of what games fall into what bracket, your simulated racing is like this one, which is roasted. Roasted is back, ladies and gentlemen. Roasted is back. Bloody hell, yeah, I'm back. All right, let's try and stay focused here. Bloody hell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gifted subs, mate. You're too awesome. Thank you, Roasted. For those who got those subs, welcome to Veteran Gaming Australia. Enjoy. All right, let's get back on track here. Okay, so simulated racing. There's probably 3 or 4. If I can bring up my Steam account here without getting hacked. So the ones that we're going to look at is iRacing is probably the main one. iRacing is the one I primarily use, which is this one here. Close that. So this is iRacing. iRacing is a paid subscription. You pay yearly, and you pay for everything. You pay for each individual car, each individual track, and a lot of the time you pay to enter a league. So, for example, I'm currently in the DSL Welding Services VA Supercars League, which is coming up to Season 3. I had to pay for my entry into that league, which then pays for all their services. So hosting sessions, it costs for them to host a session. And that includes practices, races, and all that sort of stuff. From there, so iRacing, I think, is one of the elites. With them is the likes of Assetto Corsa Competizione. Just let me try and find that one real quick. I'm just trying to have stuff here that you guys can see what I'm talking about. I don't actually own that one yet. I haven't bothered, so let me find that one in the store. Or hope my internet doesn't drop out. There it is. So it's on special at the moment, actually. Where is that? 70% off. So it's only $21 at the moment. I'm pretty sure that's a damn good deal. So that's a good one to get into if you want to be competitive in the sim racing world and not do the arcade sort of stuff, but be competitive. This one is perfect. Get it on special like that, $21. You pay for the game in itself, and then that game is bought for all the cars, all the tracks. The only thing extra you'll pay on that one is for DLCs. So there are some DLCs for certain car packs, certain track packs, but generally once you bought the game, you paid for it. It's done. So that's a great option there. And then its older brother or sister. Oh, okay, there you go. Humble Bundle. There you go. Humble Bundle, if I can speak. And then its older sibling is Assetto Corsa itself. So this one is a very old version of that game. Oh, when was this made? Alex, help me. When was this made? Does it tell me anywhere? I don't know how to find it, but anyway. But the beauty of an old game like this one is that it's really well done to begin with. but there's also a mountain of mods for this game. So there's mods out there that do everything from, you know, simulated weather to the way the game looks to cars, car packs. You know, there's things there that you can just, if you can find it, you can add it. There's one that's called the Chitoko. What's it called? 1 second, let me find it. Probably shouldn't do this on that screen because I don't know what you guys can get out of all this, but it's called Content Manager. Oh no, it's a Shitoko. Oh really? Is it as old as iRacing? Huh, I thought it was older. Well, there you go. Ah, that's the one, Shitoko Revival Project. So there's massive communities within Assetto Corsa that build these you know, these mods for this game based on this game, and it's huge and it's endless. You know, there's so much out there, from drifting to drag racing, to just cruising the streets in Tokyo, full-on racing, GT3. You know, they've got V8 supercars, everything. So again, this one's a really good option if you're good at modding, if you're good at finding mods, and you're into that sort of thing. So these are your higher end ones. There's also ones like Automobilista, this one here. But this one is the precursor of Project Cars, Project Cars 2. So this one is pretty good. I find it's a bit assisted without the assist, if that makes sense. Like it's hard to describe. It's not like console, where console you can really feel some of the assists that have been put in place to help. Even in the really good sim racing titles like Project Cars 2, you can still feel some of those assists in play there. More about stability in that. So if you don't lose control, you don't really lose control. And I've sort of taken half of that out, but it's still a little bit I find in this. But it's another really good title for a lot of cars and a lot of tracks. So Assetto Corsa Competizione is just GT3s and GT4s. So it's a very specific, you know, very specific genre and a very tailored taste. So you've got to like those two classes to be playing that game, which a lot of people love. GT3 is one of the best, most fun cars you can drive. You can really throw them around, plenty of power, and if you really overdo it, you'll lose control, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, right. Well, there you go. I didn't know it was that old. I knew it was old, but not that old. Bloody hell. All right, so actually no, I thought maybe AC was older. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. So those are your sim racing sort of games. So like I said, iRacing I think is the pinnacle. Just because people argue with me, everyone's tastes are different, but I think it's what it leads you into is what I'm looking at. So you got all the esports and that, but then instead of ACC, I'm going to stop saying the full name. So ACC is second to me. Again, because there's massive leagues running that. There's big competitions being run in that. There's currently a Logitech Challenge being run in that. And a lot of big names drive in that and race in that. So that's your two main ones. And then you got AC with the mods. You've got Automobilista 2. Project Cars 2 is still around, but it's dying because it's very old now. Am I missing any, Alex? So those are your main sim racing, so simulated racing, where you need to do pit stops, you need to manage your tires, you need to manage engine temps. You can't drive like bat out of hell. Okay, yeah, I don't have too much knowledge on R Factor 2 and the other one too. What's the other one? There's another one there too, like R Factor 2. I don't have too much knowledge of them, so I can't really speak for them what they are. But yeah, there's plenty of options out there. All right, so that's sim racing. Now let's look at the other end of the scale, which is arcade racing. Those sorts of games are your Forza Horizon series. So Forza Horizon, not Forza Motorsport. Forza Horizon, you've got your Need for Speeds. I'm going to say Project Cars 3 because that was garbage. Car X, Drift Racing, and a whole range more. So the point of arcade, and the biggest difference from arcade to sim racing, is the controller that you use. So sim racing, you use a wheel. If you try and do it on a controller, it's not going to work. Oh, the Dirt Series. Dirt Series, I probably put it depends which one it is. Some of them are very simulated. But again, yeah. So sim racing, you're on a steering wheel. Arcade, you're on a controller. And then you get titles like that you would call simcade. So they're simulated, but they're arcade. So that's probably more like Project Cars 3. So it's a game that's based on a simulated racing game, but there's no pit stops, which means there's no time management. There's no damage. There's none of that stuff. So it's supposed to be sim racing, but if you're not managing those things, you don't care about them, you're not really racing properly. So the Dirt series, similar. So the Dirt series, the Colin McRae series, all those rally sort of series, heap of fun. And the best thing about Simcade is that they are designed to use either steering wheel or controller. It's sort of right in that middle where you can get away with both. Controllers are supported. And sometimes for games like Forza Horizon, the Forza Horizon series, a steering wheel will actually you'd be worse off on a steering wheel because you can't get the feeling right, and it just puts you off racing those sort of titles. All right, so then you got also Forza Motorsport. I don't know where you'd rate that one. It's definitely not a sim racing game, but it's a simcade, I think. I think all of Forza games have cater for a controller. So yeah, it's hard to put that one. Like I believe they have pit stops. I don't know. I can't remember. I've never done in the Motorsport series. Hey Sam, high level simcade, yeah. So Forza Motorsport was trying to be a sim racing game, but again, just didn't have exactly what it needed. And then obviously trying to support controller takes away that simulated element. All right, so now we spoke about games real quick. So just to clarify, my recommendations, if you want to get a steering wheel and looking down that path, you probably want to start out with Assetto Corsa, ACC, or Automobilista 2. If you have a steering wheel and are looking for more, that's when I recommend you might start looking at iRacing. But I wouldn't touch iRacing to begin with if you don't know what sim racing is about. Oh yeah, so all right, console to PC. So let me finish what I was talking then. So if you don't want to pay a subscription for a game and then start paying for tracks and cars if you don't know if you're going to like it. So you definitely want to try a title. Game Pass is awesome for this stuff. Try a title, that sort of simcade or whatnot. Give it a go, see if you like it. And then if you do, then you start investing more money. Don't invest everything straight up because then in a couple of months' time, it's going to be a Facebook post, $5,000 for all my gear. I didn't like it. All right, so console to PC. This is a big one, and I think that this is the reason there isn't cross-platform play for a lot of this stuff. Like there is for the arcade side of things, but when it comes to sim racing, for example, Project Cars 2 is on console and it's on PC, but it's not cross-platform. Maybe because it's old, but they never bothered with it because it's a big difference. What I came from Xbox sim racing, and what I found on Xbox was that there was always a delay. So whenever you started steering or started braking, there was always a delay. The worst game for that was ACC, Assetto Corsa Competizione. That one, you would turn and then the car would turn. It was shocking. I don't know how people enjoyed that on console. I could not stand it. Like people get used to it. I understand. Like then they learn to drive like that, and that becomes their focus. But it drove me nuts. Gave me headaches too. Obviously, probably the issue I'm having with 7 Days to Die at the moment. You turn and then nothing happens, and then it turns. It just throws you off. And then coming from Xbox to PC, world of difference. Like I can now instead of having everything plugged into the wheelbase, I can now do everything through USB and control each item individually. So from my shifter to my handbrake to my pedals, and then I can also tune and calibrate all that stuff on PC. So on console, you're very limited. You can pretty much just plug it in, calibrate it on there, as in like just do your rotation on the steering wheel, and then off you go. You don't really get to do much. But on PC, you can really get into the fine tuning of it. Fine tune your brake pedal, which is very important, etc., etc. So yeah, all right. So that's games. So like I said, arcade, simcade, sim racing. If you want to give it a go, start in the simcade. find something free on Game Pass, give it a go, see how it goes, and see if you like it. If you enjoy it, then come join us and let's go racing. All right, let's talk about hardware now. So I've got some stuff here. Here we go. Close that. All right, so the basic entry steering wheel to buy brand new would be the Logitech G923, or its predecessors, depending on what console you have. But this steering wheel here, will work on all console. Well, I shouldn't say all. It'll work on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So if you've got both the consoles and a PC, and you're not sure which one you want to race on, then this is the wheel for you. If you can find this secondhand, you're laughing. These things, people buy them, don't like it, flog them off for $100, $200. You are laughing. They are great. This one, they come, as you can see it there, it's got the steering wheel, it's got the pedals, there's 3 pedals, so accelerator, brake, and clutch, and it's got on the back of the steering wheel, there's actually paddles. So you've got paddle shifters, and that's how you change gear. Great steering wheel. I had a G920, which is the predecessor to this one, which was Xbox and PC only. And I loved it. The only thing I didn't like about it was that the weight of the wheel was too light. So that's what you got to understand about price with these things. So this is your budget. This is your basic entry-level steering wheel. Now this $650, which I think is a bit high at the moment. I'm pretty sure they're only supposed to be about $500. But anyway, like I said, if you can get these secondhand, you're laughing. You'll get a good deal, and this will get you going. But any of their predecessors, you just got to be aware. So G920 is Xbox, G9G920. I can't think what the PlayStation one was. So anyway, there's a PlayStation variant. And that's the same with most of them. So if you're on console sim racing, just be aware that you need to buy the right wheel for your console. That includes Fanatec, Thrustmaster. They've all got G29. That's what it was. They've all got, well, most of them have got variants. And usually the way it works is PlayStation software or the coding for PlayStation is in the base, and the coding for Xbox is in the steering wheel. So you need to do your reading, and what you'll find sometimes is that you might buy a Fanatec base that is PlayStation compatible, but then you can also buy a Xbox steering wheel, like a steering wheel that is Xbox compatible. So yeah, most of the time the base has the PlayStation coding and the steering wheel has the Xbox coding. Doesn't always work out like that, but that's generally what you'll find. But yeah, make sure you do your reading of the base, the steering wheel, and then your pedals as well. Oh, there you go, roasted $450. Yep, and that's brand new. That's not bad. That's not bad. The secondhand, you'll get that for, $300 is a great price for this, brand new. Well, not brand new, secondhand, sorry. Yeah, right, $450 brand new. That's a pretty good price. And that's entry level. And if you buy that on a discount, you can throw that back up on eBay or your local Gumtree, $500, and you'll get it, because people will see this $650. They'll go to Gumtree and see $500, and they're like, oh, done, I'll take that. And they don't even realize that they can get it somewhere else cheaper. I'm not saying rip people off or make a business model out of it, but the option's there, like you're not going to lose money on these entry-level wheels at the moment. Now, if you have, let's say you've been racing for a while and you have like a G27, which is even older than the models I've had. I actually had a G25 back in the day. I don't know what was before that, but that was my first wheel, G25. That's Logitech. But if you have one of these basic wheels, or if you bought one of these secondhand and you're thinking like, I'd really like to give this a good go, and I'm not sure what to get, then there is plenty on the market now. And the main thing that I think people need to look at is direct drive. So just Google it real quick. So Logitech have brought out their own direct drive wheel. Now this is where your price starts going up. So the best way to look at it, best way to look at price is you're generally paying for obviously better quality, but you're also paying for a stronger wheel. So generally the higher price, the stronger the wheel is. Now just to give you some reference, so wheels come in Newton meters. My understanding is that a real life race car, is up to 20 Newton meters of force. 20 Newton meters of force. I'm pretty sure that equates just around that 20 kilos. Hey, Polisaur. Yeah, thanks, Roasted. Roasted's back, everyone. So 20 Newton meters is sort of where you want to, that's max, as if you're ever going to get that far. Yeah, good point. But a really good, I think a comfortable level is like these 9, 10 sort of variants. So Moe's have brought out, I think they're in the right ballpark. Moe's have got what's called an R9. They've got a whole series actually. Here we go. So they've brought out an R9. So all the numbers you hear in most of these is based on their Newton meters. So that's 9 Newton meters of torque. So I'm probably getting a bit lost here in this, but yeah, so 9 Newton meters of torque. So you want something that's comfortable. Obviously you don't want to break your wrists, but you want to feel a lot what's going on in the racing. So those who have a lower end wheel, like a Thrustmaster, TMX Pro, Logitech, one of those base ones, these are wheels you're starting to look at. Thrustmaster have now brought out their own direct drive wheel, which is interesting because apparently it still takes the same wheels that we've been using this whole time. So this is, you got these interchangeable wheels with like this thread system. Hope that's focusing. So apparently it takes these as well. So that's not a bad deal. So if you've got a Thrustmaster TSPC or a TSXW, any of these ones that do the interchangeable wheels, apparently this is a good replacement. Just buy that wheelbase and you can just slap your wheels on it and go. On PC, you can get away with buying different brands for everything. So you can buy a Fanatec wheelbase, and you can buy a Thrustmaster shifter. You can buy Huskenveld pedals or Logitech pedals, and you just plug them all in via USB and they work. However, on console, you have to have compatible gear. So if you're running, let's say I'm on Xbox and I'm running a Thrustmaster TSXW, I have to run the pedals and the shifter and all the ancillary stuff that I've got into the base itself. I can't do it through USB. It doesn't work. So if you're on console, on PlayStation or Xbox, you've got to be aware of these things. So you buy a set. You don't buy individual bits and pieces. You buy a set and you just be done with it. But PC, you can buy individual bits and pieces. All right. So that's hardware. And this shit goes up, $10,000 plus. You can buy some crazy stuff. Hey, welcome. Who we got? Sorry, I can't read my screen. Veterans love the suicide. Okay. They certainly do, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's sort of where we're at. So if you're going to buy a sim racing steering wheel and whatnot, you need to be able to clamp it to something. So this is what Alex was talking about before with the rig. So a lot of these basic ones are built, it says here table clamp, are built to go onto a computer desk. So, but it has to be a sturdy desk. And you can basically mount your steering wheel to the desk. You can put your pedals under the floor and then you get your non-rolling chair and you can sit on that. It works, but it's not ideal because you need to be able to push. Some of these brake pedals, like load cell pedals, have got 200 kilograms of force, max force. So I can push that. I probably can't push 200 kilograms, but you can push that as hard as you want and you won't max it out. So if you haven't got a chair or a rig stable enough to take that, you're just going to push yourself backwards and you're not going to be able to brake effectively. So obviously you can tune all that and make that as gentle as you like, but you've got to be aware that the higher end stuff is going to need a stronger rig. And then talking about that, so you can buy, I think it's a TR8. You can buy rigs. Track race. There we go. And they're basically custom built. Can I get this full screen? Anyway, some of these are custom built and built to specs and sizes that they know work. Otherwise, you can get other ones like this one, which are fully adjustable and modular. I don't know if you can see that very well. My big head in the way. Anyway, so these are they're called aluminium extrusion frames, and they just have brackets and frames, and you just basically slot it all together like an IKEA furniture. Roasted, you're naughty. You sure it wasn't your Thrustmaster? And you can buy these as kits, and then you just bolt on your steering wheel, you bolt on your pedals, and usually they come with a chair. Otherwise, you can do what I've done, and you can just go to Bunnings, grab some wood, mock up a template, and then spend the next 2 years forever adjusting it because the ergonomics isn't right. So, yeah, I've been building this rig. I'm not going to show you because it's an absolute mess around here at the moment, but it's, yeah, you can get templates online and you just search. Let's have a look actually. Just search for a wooden template, and here you go. You get a whole bunch come up. There's some pretty fancy ones, and then there's also some super basic ones. The two to consider, the two seating styles is GT and Formula. No, that's right, nothing wrong with a Woody. So Formula is when you're sitting back like this one. It's where you're sort of sitting back more of a Formula One style sitting position. And then you got your GT, which is more of a sitting up sitting position. So I like GT for my back. I've never tried Formula actually. I keep looking at it thinking maybe I should try it one day. But I like to sit up and I like to see, and it gives me better ergonomics from my position. But yeah, GT, you're sort of sitting up. Formula, you're sitting back. And yeah, so they're the two styles. So this is this is actually a kit one, this one. Someone's built that. But you can do whatever you want. You know, there's pages out there. Yeah, you'd think so, but I think Formula might be more comfortable. You'd be surprised. I'd have to try it one day. But yeah, you can build these basic ones. This sort of looks like what mine kind of looks like. With I've got MDF cut out for the sides to try and give it rigidity. Sort of that forward and backward strength, and then you got your cross-platform bits, and then you got your steering wheel plate. I've got a keyboard plate here. I've got a plate for the pedals, which I can adjust up and down to get my pedal position right. And that's the beauty of wood. I love wood because you can just, you know, if you stuff something up, you know, throw it in the bin or throw it in the scrap heap, the recycle heap, and then just grab a new piece and build it the way it needs to be. And you can be there forever, adjusting and tuning. This is super basic but effective. This is where a lot of people start. The one on the right here, they literally just get some wood and slap it together like that. Or like this one. I can't really see it. Maybe that's bigger. There you go. Like that one. That's all you need. I think when I started my first rig, I think I had a center post up, and that's what the steering wheel hung onto. And I put my legs around the center post and then onto the and they come around to the pedals. Yeah, Sam. So there's just looking at it a second ago. Here we go. So track racer. Get off the screen. So these are the more store-bought ones. These are ones you can spend. You know, what's this one? Oh, that's just a monitor stand. You're looking at $1,200 to $2,000, depending on which one you get for this sort of stuff. And that's obviously without the steering wheel, without the shifters and handbrakes and the monitor. It may come with a seat. So yeah, so there's plenty of options out there. And so yeah, so that's the rig. So we've covered the games, we've covered the, you know, the steering hardware, we've covered the rig. So let's get into a little bit of actual gameplay now, so you get an idea of what's going on. So I've got a session here. This is actually my race tonight. So if anyone's interested, I'm racing tonight. We'll kick off at about 7:30 p.m., but I'll start streaming at about probably 7 p.m. So I slide my seat forward because I've got an actual car seat in this thing. Move this back so you guys can see the steering wheel a bit more. So I might do it like this actually, so you can get better perspective. All right, so steering wheel, monitor, button box, etc., etc. All right. Yeah, not sure where to go with this, but yeah, all right. So once you get your game, you got your wheel, you got your rig, now it's time to have some fun. So tonight's race is an IndyCar race at Barber, which is a very technical track with lots of hidden corners. Whee! And there you go. That's why this is a simulated racing game. If you go silly, you'll die. Oh, good thing about iRacing too is that you can build these custom liveries. So this is the one we built for this series. And a lot of this stuff with PC is great. So this, I use Photoshop for this, and then you get programs like called trading paints and stuff like that. And if anyone's interested in that stuff, we can go through that at a later date. But yeah, so you can see that it all works. My steering matches the steering wheel on the screen. I've got a button for my pit limiter. So this is the fun of sim racing, is that you have to do all this manually. Like it's it. And if I come out here, rev it up and drop the clutch, you know, I'm doing 360s. Let me get the pedals on the screen here. No. Where can you see that? There you go. Let's throw that in there. Oh, I'm bogged. What's happened here? Oh, I'm bogged. That's a first. Look at that. But no game's perfect. You're going to get a lot of glitches and bugs in every game. Alright, let's see if I can get the camera down there. Let's see, just let me be right back. So my pedal set is the Thrustmaster TLCMs. I bought these because they are actually a adjustable set. Let me get my camera down there. And the beauty of them are, oh god. Beauty of them are, I'll show you this. This is my little nest at the moment because I've been actually fine tuning them lately, trying to get them right. Don't mind the dust. It's very dusty behind here. Where's that camera? There we go. Okay. So these pedals have got a lot of adjustment. I can't see what you're seeing, so I'm hoping that you guys can see it. So what you can see there is that I can take out any of these springs, and I've got all these different combinations of things that I can do to try and get that brake pedal to feel the best. If I can push that down now there, you can see I've got a soft spring, and that pushes onto some hard rubbers. And what that does for me is it simulates that feeling of putting the pressure onto a pedal and then, you know, feeling that bite point of the brake pedal itself. They do things where they sort of give it like a secondary pivot arm, so if it'll pivot and then do like that. So when you push in the clutch, it goes hard and then gets easy, like a real clutch in real life. It's pretty cool the way they do it. So this is an IndyCar. So I've got paddle shifters on the back here. I've got this shifter as well, which isn't working for some reason. Anyway. And then we can drive again. There you go, look at my skid marks on the track. So, in sim racing, Roasted's at it again. Cheers, Roasted. Wait, oh no, my mic's good. Okay. So, I can go through later on. So if we've got some sim racers in here who have been given a go, not sure why they're not getting good pace, you know, why they aren't getting good times and where they're struggling, I'm happy to do another video on all that sort of stuff because it's quite complicated. But when you get in this stuff, you can really lose yourself. Like, this is so much fun. And these buttons here that you can see, they do different things. So if you look at, and I made this myself, and that's another fun thing about sim racing is you get to make things. So you see on the bottom of the screen there that you got numbers from the left to right that says 4, 3, 0, and 1. So these buttons all do different things. So if I touch this one, it's changing my ARB. I'll bring it up on the screen as well so you can see what I'm talking about. So ARB F, you'll see that as I switch to that one, it's actually changing that button. So it's really cool that you can build these peripherals that plug in through USB that actually, you know, assist you in game. The other thing you can get, there's so much on this I can talk about. Like I've got a really basic SimHub base shaker setup. You can get apps like K-apps or SimHub and that to do on-screen dashes and displays. Again, if anyone's interested in any of this stuff, I'm more than happy to do a video on it one day. Let me put that back over there. But I'll just show you this one. So this one's SimHub. And this is cool. Where is it? There it is. My stream just died. Oh, stupid me. Where'd SimHub go? Oh, that was weird. Alright, anyway, so this is SimHub. So, shake it base shakers. I've got it muted. Let's crank that up. So, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I'm going to put my headset down low and try and see if you can hear this. So, what that's doing is that's got a speaker underneath my seat that's got no cone, so it thumps but doesn't make noise. So as I drive, I can feel the gear shifting happening, you know? And then the next thing you can do is these dash studios. So let's say I'm driving a V8 supercar and I want to open it on a phone or tablet. You just bring up your dash code, you get your phone, and then all of a sudden, full screen, there you go. You've now got, come on, find it. Oops. Oh, it's not going to do it, is it? It worked for a second. There you go, it's kind of working. You've now got your dash on the phone and you can just mount that. Let's say I want to mount that there. So now I don't have to worry about the on-screen dash. Now I've got this one down here and it's live. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it's big enough, but you can actually, the gear changes on that. So that's a V8 supercar dash, but you can do that with a whole range of dashes. There's so many that you can do. I'm not sure why this shifter isn't working. Anyway, let's jump into something that's manual. So one car I really love to drive is the Ford Mustang. It's just, there it is. And we'll do it, I don't know about Bathurst. Let's go Oran Park. Oran Park. So you can see here I've got a lot here that I haven't purchased. So everything that's got the little checkout box on, I haven't purchased yet. So there's a lot, but there's a lot I have purchased. So I've spent quite a bit of money on this game. But for me, it's worth it because this is my hobby. This is my passion. This is what I've got going on, you know? So for me, it's worth it. But it's not worth it to everybody. It's not what everybody's got going on. So you got to weigh that up for yourself. You got to weigh up how much money you have to spend on this sort of stuff. You know, and that comes from everything, from the game to the steering wheel to everything. You know, you got to weigh all that up. I've got about 10 more minutes, so I need to get this wrapped up. So now, go back to where you can see the shifter. Yeah. So now I'm going to use my H pattern. So now I've got a H pattern that I can use. This is a Thrustmaster TH8A. I've got this other one, which is like a handbrake shifter. Oops, Come on, camera. So this one's set up in sequential at the moment. So sequential back and forth, but then you undo a couple of these bolts. Oh, no, need an Allen key. And then you can make it a full-on handbrake, so you can do drifting and stuff like that. So I don't know if anybody's seen me do my car X. I quite enjoy that game, but it plays havoc with my wheel settings, so I can't do it too often. But I'll show you this one. So this one is... Alright, good thing about games too is that you can adjust all this stuff, you know? So I've got my monitor right on the back of the wheel so that I can get the most immersion that I can. That's probably something I should talk about too. Actually, I probably should have spoken about that earlier. So something you can do, so you got your wheel, so you got your game, you got your wheel, you've got your rig. The last thing to worry about is your monitors. So this is a big one. You've got the choice of single monitor, triple monitor, or VR. So, no, I just got it set to, I think it's set to sequential, yeah, there we go. So I've tried single monitor and I've tried VR so far. My next step is to try triple screen. The difference between each of them is single monitor, you've got the one monitor in front of you, no matter how big or small it is, whether it's a 27-inch or a 49-inch ultra-wide. It's your one monitor that you use, and that's your primary. A triple monitor is just two more monitors, one on either side. And what that does is it gives you a better sense of immersion, and it actually, in reality, what it really does is gives you a better sense of speed, and you need that when you're racing. I can give you a really good example of that. Hey, Scruff. Cheers for the follow. Welcome to Veteran Gaming Australia. Oh, this is not what it turned. So, I'll give you an example. So if my field of view is really wide at the moment, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to match my steering wheel with the... I need to turn off Sim Hub because that's vibrating like crazy now. Sorry, bear with me. Okay. I try and match my steering wheel with the steering wheel on the screen, so I get everything that's 1-for-1. So my ratio is 1-to-1. That's what I try and aim for. Sometimes I need to see things on the screen or on the steering wheel, like in the IndyCar, where I need to see the bottom of the thing. So then I have to, zoom out and do a field of view that's a bit more generous than what it should be. Or you can, get right in there and just make the windscreen the whole thing, So you can see here, the game looks slow. The game looks super slow. Oh, it's very hard to drive too. So when you got a really narrow field of view, it's very hard to know exactly when to start braking because everything feels so slow. Let's go the other extreme. Now you've got a wider field of view, the game feels a lot faster. It's not about feeling faster, it's about getting a better sense of that speed that you're achieving. Oh, this thing does not want to turn. So with the triple screen setup, what that's doing is allowing you to have a bigger field of view so you can really get a much better sense of that speed. Let's get up that pedal box so you can see here. So cars like this one require, I wish I had a foot cam actually. No, I'm getting distracted. Okay, all right, now let's talk about, so you got single monitor, triple monitor. I think if you're going to go single, you want to go triple. That's a bit of a no-brainer. You want that real estate. You want to be able to see, you want to see the cars next to you, while you're racing, you want to see the car next to you. The next one, which I think is the ultimate, is virtual reality racing. So VR. VR is insane. When you put a VR headset on, you are inside the car. Hey mate, you're inside the car. There is nothing more to it. Like, you can look around inside the car, you can see the dash, you can see the seat you're sitting in, you can see your mirrors, you can see everything. You can look left and see the car next to you, and same with the right. It's insane. It's so immersive and fun. But the problem with VR, and the biggest issues I'm having, is you need a really good computer to run it. Hey mate, how you going? What are you up to, Darren? We're just talking sim racing tonight. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to Veteran Gaming Australia. So you need a really good computer to run it. I've got a 3070 Ti and it's borderline. It will do private practice absolutely fine when I'm by myself, but as soon as I get into a lobby, it struggles. If I want to stream, it really struggles. Yeah, nice. Are you getting in the race tonight? But yeah, it struggles. So you need, a high-end graphics card. You need the higher end. You need the higher end, CPU to process everything that's going on. If you just want to race, you're just doing your own thing. VR is awesome. If you're going to race in lobbies, you got to be aware of that. And then with that, so then what happens is if you don't have the CPU GPU capacity, you have to start pulling things back. You have to start pulling the resolution back. You have to start pulling back all this peripherals, your trees, your crowds, all that sort of stuff. You have to start deleting all these things to make the game look more, to run better. I'll just show you what that might look like. So if I go to graphics, just go that. I don't think they really changed anything. This track's probably not the best example of it. Actually, everything's on low. I thought it would look worse. Anyway, maybe it's just a bad looking game. It starts deleting things because you need to maintain a certain RPM. Sorry, not RPM, certain frame per second. So I've got the HP Reverb G2, and I need to be able to do about 90 Hertz. You can do less. You can go down to 45 and have NVIDIA bump up and make up the rest, but then you get funny things happening. And then the risk with that is if you're not making the frames that you need to, if you're only getting 60 frames at best, but you're getting stuttering frames or alternating frames, that's when you start getting motion sickness because things are not as they should be. Things aren't responsive like they should be. And the game, it's just not enjoyable. If you don't have the hardware, it's just not enjoyable because the game just looks like shit and whatnot. But if you're not fazed about that, if you're not fazed by how it looks, and you just want to get in the car and drive around other cars and be able to look left or right and see them racing next to you, and you're making a mad run, you're getting the rate, you got the tow, you pull out and you're going past them, and you watch them go past. It's like, I'm sorry Sam, but it's fucking awesome. It really is. Like, I've been at Bathurst and watched the car next to me as I got past him, and I did that, made sure he wasn't there, looked back, and then made the corner, and it was freaking awesome. But yeah, so there's a lot to it, a lot to think about. So you got the games, I'll just do a quick recap while I'm driving around here. Hopefully that's not too loud. You got the games, you got sim racing, you got simcade, and you got arcade. The difference being sim racing is a steering wheel, arcade is on a controller, simcade is somewhere in between. If you've never sim raced before, I recommend grabbing a title, preferably free or cheap, giving it a go on controller, see if you like it. If you enjoy it, get yourself a budget model. Then we talk about hardware. So you've got your basic entry like the G923. The basic entries, try and get it second hand because you might not like it. Then you can just resell it for the same price you bought it, no loss. And then, you in N's car, ANZ car. Jack Barrett drives in that. Actually, I thought they were done for the year. And then when you start investing more money, so that wheel will bolt to your desk. As you start investing more money and start getting a higher end gear, then you're going to start thinking about higher end rig. So then you start looking at, a proper wooden rig, or going next level and, getting that proper, metal rig or aluminium rig, and then, SRW. I've just joined that league. And then from there, then you go from your single monitor or your laptop. Some people drive on laptops. Some of my teammates do. They haven't got the budget for a PC, so they use a gaming laptop, and it works for them. Then you go single monitor, then you make the decision to go either triple monitor or VR, or if you've got the money, you do both. Have some fun. But yeah, so that's about wraps it up, I think. I could probably talk more, but I'm trying to get too technical. So I'll wrap that up there. So if you do have more questions, we do have a sim racing group within our Discord. So VGA have got, so join the Veteran Gaming Australia Discord, and then in there, there's ways you can activate like different hashtag channels by clicking on them in roles and stuff. So if you find a sim racing one, or otherwise just PC general, wherever you can find that's general, just throw the question in there. Hey, I'm looking at buying this, or I'm looking at racing that, or I want to get into a league. That's probably what I didn't touch on actually. Is the most fun you can have in these is joining a league. If you can find a league like the Old Mate Sim Racing League, you know what? I'll put theirs in there because they are a really good league. And they're just fun. You know, they're not high stakes. There's no money. It doesn't cost anything. They are a great bunch of guys. Alex is one of them. Four Dads. He's one of the admin there, the moderators. And then one of the other leagues I came from is ANZ CRL. We were an Xbox league, and then we've pretty much all migrated now to computer, the PC. God, so like a freaking 1950s computer. And again, they run races on Automobilista 2 and Assetto Corsa. So you find the game that fits your style of racing. So you know the style that you find. I think some people will like one game and not the other, and there's reasons for that, and everybody's different. You find the one that you like, and then you find a league to go race that in. And don't worry about I'm not good or whatnot. Awesome, awesome. Yep, you don't worry about how good you are or not because they're going to teach you. They want you to do well so that their league does well. Everybody wants their league to do well. Everybody's encouraging. Everybody's supportive. That's what we want. That's what we do. And then what we're doing in Veteran Gaming Australia as well is that we are also starting our own veteran sim racing team for 2023. And if any of you are veteran sim racers and want to come have a go, let us know. More the merrier. We're doing all the enduros on iRacing. I think we're primarily iRacing at the moment, but if there is other stuff you guys want to do, let us know and we'll try and get something going. Sam is looking at, VGA Harrow. When he's able to, they look at sometimes sponsoring a VGA team for certain events. So yeah, if you guys want to jump in, you are all more than welcome. All skill levels. We're no pros here. I'm not a pro. I've been only doing this, 3 years, like full-time 3 years, and I am still 2 seconds off the pace, So it takes time. It takes a lot of time to get good. So don't expect to be good overnight, but it's fun, and that's the main thing for me. Like I've done drifting, CarX drifting online. It's so much fun, and on wheel, that's freaking awesome. It's an arcade game, but it's actually really fun on wheel. I love this iRacing. It's one of my greatest passions now. And then just other stuff comes up, and you just want to give it a go. ACC have got a big Logitech challenge at the moment. That's it. Fun and hang out with mates, and you just jump in and you just have fun, and it's just fun. Fun, fun, fun. So yeah, I don't want to recommend people go out and spend a lot of money to do it, but if you love racing, especially the enduros, yeah, especially when you team up for the enduros. I didn't mention that either. You get to team up, and like 4 people will drive the one car, and you just take turns, and it's just so much fun. Sometimes it goes to poo. But who cares? It's fun. It's the experience, and 24-hour races, like full actual 24-hour races. Like it's insane. It's so much fun. But yeah, all right. I've been jibber jabbering for too long now. I need to get going. I've got a race tonight. But yeah, I'll be streaming my race here, so I'll end this stream here. But I'll be back in about half an hour, and we'll get going with some IndyCar racing. All right. Yeah, awesome, Darren. Yeah, awesome. All right, guys. So to wrap up, so my name's John. This has been Veteran Gaming Australia. I'm glad you guys came. Thank you to the followers. No, I'm running Global, what are they called? GBL. They got their last IndyCar round tonight. But then they put us onto you guys because apparently SRW is taking over the IndyCar series or doing something in that space. So it looks like we're all migrating over to you guys for that. And yeah, we'll see how we go. Cheers, mate. Yeah, you too in your race as well. Good luck. Have fun. But yeah, any more questions, throw them in the Discord. There's a bunch of sim racers in there now that we can all answer and we can help. If you're looking at buying gear, run it by us first. Let us give you, I'm not going to tell you yes or no. We're just going to give you advice on what you're buying and what it's going to be suitable for. And yeah, and that's for everything from steering wheels, shifters, pedals, monitors, VR, the whole works. There's a wealth of experience in this community, and it's friggin' awesome, and it's really good, and we want to pass it on. So yeah. All right, that's me done. Take a breath, John. No, it's been fun. There's a lot of knowledge in this old brain. I just need to only give some of it, not all of it. But yeah, there's so much more we can get into. We can get into, you know, just the basics of racing, you know, braking, apexing, and all that sort of stuff. And then you can get the more complicated stuff. We can talk about peripherals, like I was talking about button boxes, you know, and applications you can run on your phone. You know, there's so much to it. So if you guys want some more of this, let me know, and we can do another one in a month's time. All right, that's me done. Thank you. What a golf ball. Welcome to Veteran Gaming Australia. Sorry, I have to look in really close because my monitor's sideways and I don't get the notifications properly. But no, welcome. All right.